All right, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sex Mastery. S- Okay, let me see here. Okay, well, I'm just gonna go. Yeah, let me know if my connection's bad, but I'm just gonna go for it. So, welcome to another episode of Sexual Mastery. I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master. So, today I'm going to be talking about overcoming sexual limitations. So, our sexual ability relates to every other aspect of our life. When a man is confident in himself sexually, when he's able to perform sexually, then this confidence carries over into every aspect of his life. Now, on the other hand, if a man's suffering from sexual dysfunctions, if he's not in control of his sexual power, then he's not going to have that confidence in other areas of his life, and he's not going to radiate this confidence and this vitality. And so working towards cultivating sexual power and being in control of your sexual power is something very important. Our sexual energy, our sexual power is very in relation to our abundance in life. When you are when you're radiant with sexual energy, when your sexual energy is flowing and you have an abundance of this, then you are often abundant in all other areas of your life as well. And so there's definitely a connection that I've seen between sexual power and material abundance in the world. And so, for instance, for me, I used to be constantly ejaculating and depleting my sexual energy, and I was broke. I couldn't make any money, and was always in this mindset of lack. And I started practicing semen retention, cultivating sexual energy, and I had the tools. I had the energy to make things happen, to trade energy with the world, to do the work that was fulfilling, and to fulfill my purpose in the world. And all of a sudden, abundance started flowing in my life. So there's this definite connection between sexual cultivation and experiencing abundance in your life. And as I said before, your sexual ability relates to your confidence in all areas of your life. When a man is confident in his sexual ability, when you have the sexual power and the ability to control yourself during sex, to control your ejaculation and be a master in the bedroom, then you radiate confidence in all other areas of your life as well. Whereas if a man is not feeling confident in the bedroom, if he has, suffering from premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, then he's often lacks confidence in other areas of his life as well. And there's nothing wrong with you if you're experiencing these things. These are totally normal things for men to experience. I've been through all these issues as well, but they can be overcome. It just takes some training. It takes certain practices, and we'll get into that more. So, how does it feel to be in complete control of your ejaculation, to be able to have sex for hours? Have you ever had a session where you were with a partner, making love for hours, having orgasm after orgasm without ejaculating? At the end of it, you feel radiant, you feel energized and powerful, and this sexual power is flowing in your body, and you feel like you can accomplish anything, and it's an incredible feeling. And so when you're able to do this, you really become unstoppable in life, because again, your sexual ability is in line with every other aspect of your life. So some common sexual limitations that men have are, of course, sexual dysfunctions, things like premature ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, and porn addiction. And sometimes all these things are linked together. Excessive watching porn regularly and masturbating to porn all the time, it really messes with your chemistry, your hormone levels, the wiring in your brain. And there's what's known as porn-induced erectile dysfunction, where you're so stimulated from porn all the time, your dopamine's amped up so that you become desensitized to it. And then in a real life sexual scenario, it's not quite the same. It's not as stimulating for you, so you're unable to get an erection. This is a very common thing. A lot of my friends have told me about this, and a lot of other men have come to me about this issue. So this is a very real thing. And of course, premature ejaculation is a large problem as well. The average man, I say this all the time, the average man lasts about 5 minutes during sex before ejaculating, and sometimes even less. Often, this is not a very long period of time. Most women take much longer than this to even warm up to orgasmic levels. And so premature ejaculation is, it's often a result of, there's many reasons for it, but it's often a result of a lifetime of habits. For example, if you learned, if you trained yourself and don't take very long to ejaculate, or maybe you were, in your room masturbating and afraid your mom was going to walk in or something, and so you do it as quickly as you can. So this trains you to ejaculate quickly. It trains you to be a quick shooter. So this is one common cause of erectile dysfunction. Other causes of premature ejaculation, the biggest one is stress, functioning constantly in the sympathetic nervous system state. When your sympathetic nervous system's active, you feel on the edge, you're in fight or flight mode. And this is, the ejaculation function is part of the sympathetic nervous system. So when you're constantly in this fight or flight state, then you're not going to last very long during sex, because you're in that state of being on the edge. So when you're able to keep your parasympathetic nervous system active, that's when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when you're breathing deeply, you feel safe, you feel at ease in your body. That's one of the keys to being able to control yourself during sex, is staying in that parasympathetic state. And the easiest way to accomplish this is by deep belly breathing, deep natural breathing. How can you breathe in? How slow can you breathe out? Because what happens is, a lot of men, when they're having sex, their breath gets out of control. It's very shallow, or it's very rapid, and this heats them up more and causes them to just lose control. When you can control your breath, then you can control so many other aspects of your biological function. This is a very simple way to start controlling your ejaculation, is working with the breath. So there's a couple questions. I'm at internet recently. I've been traveling a lot. I'm back in Boise, Idaho right now for the next month or so. So yeah. And of course, porn is a huge issue for many men, and something that's very limiting to them. It becomes this addictive pattern and sets you up to have unrealistic context of what sex is and how to actually sexually perform. These are very common sexual limitations for men. And when you've experienced these things, every man experiences these things at some point. Every man has a time where he ejaculates, or maybe he can't get it up. Erectile dysfunction, more often than not, it's a psychological issue. If maybe I won't be able to get an erect fest. So it's your ability to get an erection is very. My multi-orgasmic band 6 weeks is basically a complete program to keep yourself in a parasympathetic nervous system state, get grounded, open up energy channels in your body so that you can move that aroused energy. This makes you very, very confident in your sexual ability. You learn to control your sexual energy. So when you're confident about controlling your sexual energy, then when you're with a partner, you're not worried. You're not having stage performance anxiety, right? You're just able to just be confident and be on it. And this is really going to help you overcome a lot of these issues, such as erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. So these are some of the common limitations men have. So you really have to train yourself. Again, I said that most men's sexual habits are self-ingrained from their masturbation habits when they're younger, watching porn and just mindlessly masturbating until you quickly ejaculate. So you have to retrain yourself. The moment you start to lose control of your pain, focus on the breathing first and foremost, and this will train you to be much more calm and be able to stay in that parasympathetic state. And of course, the more advanced practices where you work with the microcosm or with the energy channels of the body, and you start to directly channel that sexual energy through the body. These are the most potent practices, but the breath is the best place to start with. And so, yeah, you must train yourself. If you want to get good at something, if you want to be a masterful lover, if you want to have sexual power, it's a daily practice. So overcoming sexual limitations is all about. So there's a couple tricks to separate orgasm from ejaculation without doing meditations and squeezes. Well, there's no really quick, easy fix. The closest thing would be the $1 million point technique, is Um, it's very crude and you're still going to lose energy from it. But basically, you press 3 fingers into your perineum just at the base. So there's this bone. You'll feel that if you kind of feel your perineum, your pelvic floor area. There's this bone more towards the penis, further away from the penis, right at the edge of that bone. If you push your fingers in and up, there's a little like valve, the tube where the semen's traveling through. You basically block that with your fingers when you start to ejaculate, and you'll basically force the semen to stay where it is. And of course, it takes a little practice to find the right spot. If you do it wrong, it'll just go into your bladder and you'll urinate it out. And again, this method's not perfect. It's forceful, it's crude, and you can have some issues of congestion of fluids and things like that. So if you do use the technique, do it at your own risk and make sure you spend a lot of time massaging that entire area to disperse any stagnation from occurring. So that's a basic quick hack, but there's much better techniques that I teach, in my courses to really separate orgasm from ejaculation without having to shove your fingers in your body. But it's a good training wheel for sure. I have a question. I'm on day 163 and experiencing fatigue most of the time. Is it rewiring process? If you're 160 days in and you're experiencing fatigue, it's probably not related to necessarily your sexual energy. Well, what it probably is, it could be a number of things. It's not like your energy level is only related to whether or not you're ejaculating. That is a factor, but there's many other factors in your energy levels. If you're not getting enough sleep, if you're not eating healthy, if you don't exercise, if you have poor breathing habits, if you're not drinking enough water, all of these things are going to affect your energy levels. So my number one regimen for increasing your energy level is do Qigong. It's an incredible practice. Do breathing practices, do some like pranayama, check out my breathing exercises here on this channel. I have got some Qigong videos, Qigong playlist, and get outside, spend time in nature, drink quality water, and eat organic foods, eat clean organic foods. So those are my tips for increasing your energy. Tips for staying calm in irritating, awkward, or aggressive situations. Breathing, slow, deep breaths from your belly. Often when you start to become, when you go into reactive mode, when something triggers you, you're feeling irritated, you're feeling angry or aggressive, you typically start to tense up. You rise up your shoulders a little bit and you suck in your belly, and this lifts your center of gravity higher. So you're off balance, you're out of your center, and you're easily pushed over. You're usually easily pushed off your center. So relax everything. One of my videos, I talk about my video, how to approach women confidently. I tell you to focus on this point at the base of the neck, the C7 point. You feel it relax and sink down, and feel everything sinking down. And focus on your breathing and just this relaxation, this belly breath. It keeps you in the moment. It keeps you in your body and helps you stay calm, stay parasympathetic versus going into reactive patterns. Is your microcosmic orbit open? And if so, how long did you train to open it? And what did you do to open it? Yes, my microcosmic orbit is open. I work with it every day. So this is the thing. It's like people often have this mindset of, oh, your microcosmic orbit is either open or it's closed. It's never closed. If it was closed, you'd be dead. You wouldn't be alive, because as long as you're alive, your microcosmic orbit is open and flowing. But there is different degrees of openness. And so by using different practices, I use microcosmic orbit meditation. I teach I've got some different ones on my YouTube channel, some microcosmic orbit practices, but I teach a supercharged one in my 6-week course where you use spiraling energy to really activate the orbit. It's very powerful. So you only ejaculate when you overheat. Does that literally mean too hot? Can you expand on that? Well, you ejaculate when this pressure in the genitals builds up to a maximum point. Most men, their bodies are locked down with tension, so there's nowhere else for that arousal to go. So it just builds up to a maximum point, and then it has to move somewhere, so it shoots out the penis. So if you open other pathways, you are able to just diffuse this charge, disperse it throughout the body instead of out the penis. And of course, the deep belly breathing helps to keep that from building too quickly. It keeps it middled. So there's a few different factors to ejaculation control. I'm gonna try to keep doing this every Wednesday as always. feel free to send in any final questions, but a couple announcements. My 6-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man, is opening soon. Look out for more information from that. Oh, also, my Instagram got deactivated, so check out my new Instagram account. There's some links in my last couple of videos on that. Hopefully, I'll get my old one back. I'm working towards it. I had almost 6,000 followers, but these things happen. I have a question. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night with an erection that makes me so difficult to go back to sleep. Been working with the microcosmic orbit and Qigong. Yeah, so well, it means you're healthy. It means you have sexual vitality. Morning erections or erections in the middle of the night are a good sign that you have the abundance of sexual vitality. But it can be a bit distracting if you're trying to get back to sleep. So there's a technique on my channel with the orgasmic draw, or the big draw, where you use some force to pull the sexual energy out of the genitals. And it's a bit forceful. It's a very crude technique. I have much more evolved techniques that I'm teaching now, but it's a decent start. So that will help you when you wake up in the middle of the night to get rid of that erection. You can also take a cold shower. That'll be helpful as well, or just kind of spray some cold water down there or some ice or something to make it go away. But yeah, your nighttime erections, they have potent energy, they have potent chi, and it's good to cultivate that. Pull it up, store it in the belly center, store it in the dantian. You'll get a lot of energy out of it. All right, guys, thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next week, same time. Have a great day.